You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, we're going to take you to Pitt State to learn more about a Writers Fest that's ongoing out there.
Also, Coral Junction hosts its annual Marching Band Festival.
And we've got a bit of a foggy start to our Monday across the area, but we also have increasing rain chances. We'll look at that forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is just after 7 a.m. on this Monday morning, and what a Monday it is. It's Monday.
Absolutely. Chris?
It's whatever, Monday. Everybody's got to get through Monday, right?
Absolutely. And over at Pittsburgh State, Writers Fest is back in town for its second year. It kicked off a week-long series of events centered around notable authors Juliet Patterson and Tracy Brimhall.
KOAM's Jasmine Knight got to attend one of the events and learn from Ms. Patterson.
Juliet Patterson's book, called Sinkhole, A Legacy of Suicide, sparked the Pittsburgh community when it hit the shelves. While touching on her family's history of suicide, Patterson focuses on the rich history of Pittsburgh and how it has evolved over time.
So when my father died, this door kind of swung open and I felt like I needed to come back to Pittsburgh and unearth that history. And the book is really an exploration of that. But in the process of doing all that, I really felt a deep interest in this place, and I ended up doing a lot of historical research as well.
During the writing process, Patterson searched any outlets to gain inspiration and knowledge. One place being Miners Hall Museum.
We felt it was real appropriate to have her here at the museum because this is where a lot of the history that she's talking about is centered.
Patterson's book, Sinkhole, received the 2023 Minnesota Book Award and was named one of the best memoirs of 2022 by the Library Journal.
The book has several layers. The book does talk about suicide and is a book meant to address an audience for those who have lost someone by suicide, but it also talks about a place and what it means to be rooted to a place or separated from a place.
Well, the book is beautifully written and very respectfully so.
Through PSU's Writers Fest, attendees can learn a multitude of topics, but for those who wish to read Ms. Patterson's story, here's what she wants the reader to take away.
And I hope it just gets them to reflect on their own ancestral line.
So if you're looking to check out some famous authors or poets from the 4 states area, check out PSU's Writers Fest. Reporting in Franklin, Jasmine Knight, KOAM News.
Writers Fest will continue until Friday the 22nd and will include events like seminars from the authors, as well as resume writing and fiction writing workshops.
Well, it's an excellent opportunity to check out the Writers Fair or potentially maybe try and write your own novel because we got some much needed rain chances starting to build into our forecast. But we also have to contend with some fog this morning. As you can see, we have patchy fog across the entire area with the densest fog back into northeastern Oklahoma and up around the Nevada and Stockton area as well. So if you're out there driving, just be aware of some dense fog. Make sure you slow down. Give yourself time to get where you're going this morning. And as we get our morning started, we'll have that patchy fog holding on through about 9 o'clock, and then that's going to leave us with mostly clear skies, temperatures into the low 70s, so not a bad start out there. But because we have, my goodness, my neck won't stop itching. I don't know what happened. But because we have the ample sunshine, it also means we're going to warm up pretty quickly today again as well as we'll go into the mid-80s. We'll have increasing clouds, though, later this evening into the overnight. And by about 3, 4 a.m., we're going to start to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms across parts of southeast Kansas. And as you can see, these are scattered. Not everybody's going to get rain all at once, but we will have these thunderstorms to contend with throughout our Tuesday into the evening. A brief pause and then additional development into the early morning hours on our Wednesday with some additional showers and thunderstorms, and we're going to hold on to these scattered thunderstorm chances for the next few days. So again, this is for tonight because this covers all the way through about 3 a.m. So we'll see some of those isolated thunderstorms late tonight, early tomorrow morning. But as we go into our Tuesday and Wednesday, we do have that chance of some low, maybe even an elevated risk for a low-grade severe storm or some strong storms out there. So we're not anticipating any significant widespread severe weather, but there's that that possibility we could get a strong, maybe low-grade severe storm with the potential for some small hail, maybe some gusty winds out there. But again, we're not anticipating a line of storms with 70, 80 mile an hour winds or anything like that. But still a couple of strong storms possible with this activity out there. And of course, we will keep an eye on it for you here. We have more rain chances through the week, and those rain chances will have an impact on our temperatures this week as well. We'll talk about how long the rain sticks around and what that impact looks like in your full forecast here in a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. A Quapaw, Oklahoma man is dead after a crash near Baxter Springs between a semi and a pickup. It happened around 6 p.m. Friday on Highway 166 west of Baxter Springs. Authorities say both vehicles were traveling east with the pickup in the front. They then say that the pickup slowed down to turn left when the semi went into the left lane and hit the pickup. The driver of the pickup was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. A passenger in the pickup, 58-year-old Jeffrey Sappington, was killed. The driver of the semi was not hurt. Carl Junction hosted its annual Marching Band Festival where schools from across the state came together and performed in front of judges. Every band varies in size from about 30 students to over 100 students. They are judged on multiple areas, and after each performance, every school is given feedback to help them improve in the future.
So they'll judge, how they're playing together as a unit, their phrasing, the musicality, the marching style. There'll be another caption. We have a guard person who's watching all the flag twirlers and stuff like that. Overall general effect of how the show is put together. And we have a percussion person too that specifies in that area.
My favorite part is watching the other bands. I like seeing what they have going on. Like last year I liked a Joplin show. It was really interesting.
The top 10 bands competed for the finals at 7 p.m. the same night. And the city of Weir celebrated their homecoming. Part of the homecoming celebration is to remember the town's history. Presenter and host David Wallace invited community members to share their stories, memorabilia, and acknowledgement of the history of Weir.
I've had the involvement of the museums around town, around southeast Kansas. I've had involvement from the McCune Museum, the Galena Historical Museum, the Nature Center in Galena. Miners Hall Museum has really done a bang-up job.
The tent was set up from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The United Auto Workers strike enters day 4 as talks are set to continue with one of the big 3 automakers, Stellantis, today. Thousands of workers walked off the job at 3 assembly plants Friday after the contract lapsed. As Ian Lee reports, the impacts of the strike are being felt in the auto industry, and there are worries that those impacts could trickle down to Main Street.
Top Democrats came to Michigan to show solidarity with striking auto workers over the weekend.
We're going to be in this fight with you until we win the fight.
That's right. Thousands of United Auto Workers members at a Ford plant in Michigan, a Stellantis plant in Ohio, and a General Motors factory in Missouri walked off the job Friday at midnight after their contract expired. The union said negotiations with Ford on Saturday were productive, and talks with Stellantis are expected to take place today. Neither side commented on how talks with General Motors went over the weekend.
Our demands are just, we're asking for our fair share in this economy and the fruits of our labor.
The UAW is demanding at least a 36% raise, cost of living and job protections, as well as an unwinding of concessions made during the Great Recession. Currently, automakers are only offering a raise of about 20%.
We're at the table now, ready to keep going and get this resolved as quickly as possible.
We just want what's owed to us.
Local car dealers are concerned about the impact of a prolonged strike.
The likelihood of prices going up should this strike linger are almost certain.
And so are other business owners who rely on local auto workers.
It has a trickle-down effect, of course. A lot of people from GM come here on a daily basis, get their shift breaks to get food, so we may not see them for a while.
Already, the strike has caused Ford to temporarily lay off 600 non-striking workers at the Wayne, Michigan plant.
Experts say due to existing inventory, it could be weeks before consumers feel the impact of the strike on their ability to buy a car. President Biden has sent administration officials to Detroit to assist with contract negotiations. Up next, whether you've seen it or not, Rent might be on production you've at least heard of. Now it's being brought to Pittsburgh. We have Brianna Clark to tell us more about it.
And later, how 1 in 4 people may break their healthy diet just by snacking. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
In Health Watch this morning, 1 in 4 people may undo the benefits of a healthy diet because they eat bad snacks. That's according to a study published Thursday in the European Journal of Nutrition. Researchers analyzed the snacking habits of 854 people. Over 25% of the participants reported eating healthy main meals and snacking on highly processed food and sugary treats. Eating those types of snacks was linked to higher BMIs and other weight-related issues, which increase the risk for stroke, heart disease, and obesity. But not all snacking is unhealthy. Participants who frequently ate nuts, fresh fruit, and other high-quality snacks were more likely to have a healthy weight compared to the non-snackers or those who chose unhealthy foods. And patients may soon be able to use the psychedelic MDMA to help treat post-traumatic stress disorder. Although it's currently illegal, MDMA, also known as ecstasy or Molly, combined with talk therapy, has proven effective in reducing symptoms of PTSD. That's according to a study published in Nature magazine. The company behind the prescription psychedelic, MAPS Public Benefit Corporation, is hoping that's enough evidence to convince regulators to legalize it, and plans to submit its results to the FDA to build its case for approval. PTSD affects about 5% of adults in America, many of whom are combat veterans, victims of child abuse, and sexual assault survivors. But doctors say current treatment options only help about 50% of patients. And we're heading toward the respiratory virus season again, and while illnesses like the flu and RSV tend to start spreading in October, the U.S. is already seeing some sicknesses starting to tick up. Amanda Gather has more on how to help identify viruses if your child gets sick.
The symptoms are similar, so if your child gets sick, it can be hard to know if it's COVID-19, the flu, RSV, or a cold.
Cough and congestion, runny nose, those are common symptoms to all 4 of those viruses.
Dr. Andy Shane with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says there are ways to help distinguish between the illnesses. First, look at how quickly symptoms start.
RSV and COVID are more gradual, usually in symptom onset, and may start with a runny nose and then progress to other symptoms.
While COVID-19 is the current virus of concern, with nearly 19,000 hospital admissions the past week, RSV levels are starting to pick up in the South, with small increases in the West and middle of the country.
Loss of appetite is classically something that we associate with RSV, but of course, loss of appetite can be associated with a lot of other infections as well.
RSV symptoms may also include coughing, sneezing, fever, and wheezing. Colds usually peak within 2 to 3 days with cough, sore throat, runny or stuffy nose, watery eyes, and sneezing. COVID-19 may include symptoms of cough, brief episodes of fever, shortness of breath, abdominal pain, and fatigue. And flu symptoms may include fever, chills, headache, runny nose, nausea, and fatigue.
If a parent is concerned about a child, then that is usually an indication that additional care needs to be sought.
There are weapons this year against the potential fall triple threat of COVID-19, flu, and RSV, including an updated COVID-19 vaccine and a new shot to protect against RSV. Also this year, early data from South America shows that the flu vaccine has cut the risk of hospitalization in half. A hopeful sign that the vaccine will provide a similar level of protection in the U.S.
Well, we've still got some fog to contend with out there, patchy across the area. We also are talking about increasing rain chances as we head through the week ahead, and that's also going to have an impact on our temperatures. We'll take a look at your full forecast in just a few more minutes on the KOAM Morning News, plus Nintendo releasing new Mario games. We'll take a sneak peek at one of those coming soon.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Joining us in studio is Brianna Clark, and she's here to tell us all about a production of Rent happening soon. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so give us all the details. I mean, everyone knows Rent. It's a great, great musical.
Absolutely.
And it's coming right here.
Absolutely, yes. My company, Triple Threat Theatrics, is producing Rent this week at Memorial Auditorium, Thursday through Saturday.
Very impressive. And who's the cast?
The cast is a group of community members that auditioned and came together and really just wanted to put on this show. A lot of them have never even been on the Memorial stage before, so it's exciting to have new cast members join us.
Oh, how fun. And And why did you choose Rent of all the musicals?
We wanted something that had a big impact for the community, but also a show that maybe other community theaters couldn't produce due to limitations. So we wanted to do something that was a little edgier and offered something unique for the community.
I love that. Okay, and so this cast, you have everything from experienced actors to first timers.
Absolutely.
Is there an age group?
We're all 20s, 30s.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, some people have a lot of experience, but there are new people to the stage. And the most exciting part is that these people just volunteer their time to come and do this. And we've really only rehearsed, we'll only have had 10 rehearsals by the time this show goes up, which might be scary, but these people are magnificent. Yes.
Hey, sometimes that's the best stuff when you're up there, and that's where the magic happens.
Absolutely.
And when is this show going to be running?
Absolutely. This Thursday through Saturday at Memorial Auditorium. The times are listed right there, as you can see.
I love that. And are there any other upcoming shows that we should know about?
Absolutely. So the company is Triple Threat Theatrics, and you can find us on Facebook or on Instagram. And we'll be auditioning for Into the Woods, our next show, relatively soon. So you can find that information on Facebook.
And literally, it seems like anyone can come and audition.
Absolutely. We love new people.
What's the commitment for doing such a thing?
2 to 3 weeks, and that's all. Just come join us and have fun with us.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so do you have everything? I mean, is this going to be like the same quality that we would see at some of the big theaters across the country?
Absolutely. This is going to be a fabulous production. You won't want to miss it.
Lighting, hair, makeup.
Yes, everything.
The old razzle dazzle.
The big razzle dazzle.
I love that. That is great. And is there a Facebook or a website that we can check out?
Absolutely. You can look up Triple Threat Theatrics on our Facebook or on Instagram, or you can check the Memorial Auditorium page.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
you at home,
you.
be sure to check out Rent happening this whole weekend right here.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned. We got more news coming up.
Well, hot off the massive success of the movie version, Nintendo is getting ready to release a brand new Super Mario Brothers movie, and Fox News got a sneak peek. I thought this was supposed to be a game.
Iman Dignam has more of this edition of Fox on Game series.
Onward and upward.
Mario is back, and he's not alone. The upcoming Super Mario Bros. Wonder gives players the choice between playing with Mario, Luigi, Princesses Peach and Daisy. Two Toads and Toadette round out the characters for older players. For younger players, multiple different colored Yoshis and Nabbit the Rabbit fill out the roster. Wonder is a trip back to side-scrolling adventures, but instead of the traditional Mushroom Kingdom, our adventurers find themselves in the neighboring Flower Kingdom. During a sneak peek, I chose the favorite character of Little Brothers Everywhere, Luigi, and I got to test out the new power-ups, like the Elephant Fruit, which allows you to barrel through blocks and store water from one part of the level to use on flowers around the level. Another power-up, the Wonder Flower, literally changes the world instead of the player. Along with the new power-ups come badges that will allow you to change base skills by assigning them before the level. Two that I got to see early included a super jump that could bring you to higher portions of the level and an umbrella style badge that would slow your descent down from high elevations.
Interesting. Mario has certainly changed a bit since the last time I ever played him, but still looks like a lot of fun. Like I said, and for younger players, there's Yoshi, and for older players, there's Toad. Nobody ever wants to be Toad.
I don't know who Toad is. I don't know what these characters.
What planet have you been on? How do you not
Planet
know Mario?
Earth. I have real life friends that I talk to. Well,
good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Okay. All
Just
right.
kidding.
No, I got it. No, you're right. You're right. Okay. Well, regardless, for those of you who play Mario, how many of you out there want to be Toad? Nobody wants to be. Nobody ever picks him. It has nothing to do with being an older or younger player. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is it still looks like an exciting game.
Absolutely,
I prefer
Chris.
Yoshi.
And
So.
coming up, we'll take you to Parsons, Kansas to learn more about a skateboarding competition that took place over the weekend.
And we've got those rain chances out there, plus some fog to deal with this morning. We'll take a look at your forecast when we come back.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. The time now is 7:29 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. Local skaters were able to show off their tricks Saturday at the PKY Skateboard Park. The annual Battle for the Cup skateboard competition showcased skaters from all around the area. The event included music, skater meet and greets, and of course skateboarding. Prizes and trophies were rewarded to first, second, and third places in each skill level, best trick contest, and best run.
We usually give away the skateboards, t-shirts, and stickers and stuff like that. There's a couple local skate groups that are out here today.
I usually go in intermediate, but they was telling me I couldn't, so.
This was the 15th annual all-day competition. Saturday, Joplin hosted its annual surplus auction at the Joplin Public Works Center. Guests could come browse and bid on items like power tools, bikes, furniture, vehicles, and more. Viewings for the items took place on Friday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., but on Saturday, approximately 200 people attended the auction to purchase their desired items.
Well, it helps us recoup some money on items that we purchased in the past, and then each department benefits whatever department the items come from. The money goes back to that department.
Mostly just come up here to look for something to buy to make a little money on or something.
For more information, including a full item list, visit joplinmo.org/auction list.
And we've got ourselves a bit of patchy fog out there to contend with from our camera 7th range line. If you look off in the distance, you can see some of that there, and of course a little bit of it on the MoDOT camera 20th and range line. And that patchy fog has been all over the region, but the denser fog is from Fort Scott, Nevada to Stockton and back toward Miami and Grove. So roughly Highway 54 and the southern portions of Highway 69 across the area, but nonetheless patchy fog across the region. So do slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going. That'll burn off by about 8-9 o'clock. We're mostly clear, low 70s by late morning, so not bad. But with mostly clear skies, that means plentiful sunshine. It also means we'll warm up as we go into the mid-80s today, with a few clouds increasing later this evening into the overnight ahead of scattered thunderstorms early tomorrow morning and then through the morning hours. Now, not rain everywhere all at once, unfortunately, but we will have a few scattered showers and storms on our Tuesday. We'll see additional ones late Tuesday into early Wednesday morning. We'll see additional scattered showers and thunderstorms hang with us in through Wednesday into our Thursday as well across the area. So much needed rain. However, there is that possibility of a strong storm or two. So this is for overnight tonight, not for this afternoon. However, we do have a low to elevated risk for some strong, possibly low-grade severe thunderstorms Tuesday and again on Wednesday. Not talking widespread severe weather or anything, but maybe some small hail, gusty winds. We'll keep an eye on that for you. We'll have another full look at your forecast here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Members of the Vernon County 4-H held a family expo at the Vernon County Fairgrounds. The purpose of the event was to educate the community about 4-H and the various opportunities that comes along with being a part of it. The 4-H Council spoke to potential new members about leadership conferences, various trips and camps, and scholarships currently offered.
Today, this event is our big expo that we have every year, and it's to get kids involved and get out there and show them a taste of what 4-H is and what all that Vernon County has to offer. It can be anything from projects to trips to our shooting sports. There's just everybody can come here today and get a big show of everything that's going on.
So one of the main things I do with my rabbits is I take them to shows. There's all different types of rabbits you can bring, different breeds. It's simple yet not simple.
The event began at 3 yesterday afternoon and wrapped up at 5. The Spiva Center for Arts in Joplin held a wood-burn charcuterie board event. The attendees were able to learn the art of pyrography from Roxanne Kendall, as well as burn designs into different styles of charcuterie boards to take home. The event was open from 2 to 4 p.m. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Have you ever wanted to know just what Joplin's Civil Air Patrol does? Now's your chance to find out. We have Kevin Siderstricker in studios to tell us all about it.
And with the increasing rain chances, that will have an impact on our temperatures this week as well. We'll take another full look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News return.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Joining us in studio today is Kevin Siderstricker. He's here to tell us all about the Joplin Civil Air Patrol Squadron and what its missions are. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Caitlin.
All right, so for those that don't know, what is the Civil Air Patrol?
Great question, Caitlin. The Civil Air Patrol is an organization that is the auxiliary of the U.S. Air Force. We accept applications for youth from the ages of 12 to 18 and adults 18 and above to do basically 3 different things. We focus on cadet programs, emergency services, and aerospace education. So in times of natural disaster, we deploy manned aircraft, we deploy drones, and we deploy ground teams to go look for things like downed aircraft. We send out drones to look at infrastructure that may have been damaged in an earthquake, like dams and bridges. We look for cracks and things like that. So all sorts of services, but we love our cadets and we love teaching them about aerospace education opportunities, a little bit of military drill and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It seems like, so is this a stepping stone for them to actually join the Air Force?
It certainly is a great question, Caitlin. There are a number of programs where a cadet might qualify to enter the Air Force Academy. There are scholarships to learn how to fly and get licensed as a private pilot.
Oh, incredible.
And we teach them to fly drones for free.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, who
awesome.
doesn't love flying a drone? Okay, so is there certain times that you have to sign up? Like, do you have a recruiting time before?
Well, we've designated for our squadron here based at the Joplin Regional Airport, September is our fundraising and recruiting surge month. So, but applications are open all year long. They can go to gocivilairpatrol.com or our Facebook page, Joplin Civil Air Patrol, and they can learn how to sign up there.
Excellent. And is there a way for them to kind of test it out? Will there be videos and such to see what they're really getting in?
You are reading my mind, Caitlin.
Thank you.
We meet every Tuesday night at the Joplin Regional Airport at the old terminal. So don't go to the regular like you're going to go get on an airplane from Dennis Weaver Drive. That's where we meet in the old terminal every Tuesday night at 6:30. Come join us, see what we're about, and we'd love to have people come.
That's so great. Wonderful.
I did also want to say that we will be out this third Thursday in downtown Joplin, the 21st. And you can come out to the Joplin Regional Airport for Wings and Wheels. That's October 1st. It's a Sunday. We're going to have all sorts of vintage and cool aircraft flying in, food trucks, and we'll be out there to meet and greet the public and tell them more about the Civil Air Patrol.
I love that. I mean, that sounds pretty cool. So be sure to check out the Civil Air Patrol. Check them out on Facebook. We'll be right back with more news after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Coming up on 7:41 on this Monday morning. Still got that patchy fog across the entire area. The denser fog along 54 from Fort Scott, Nevada to Stockton, and then along 69 Miami down to Grove. So make sure you're slowing down, giving yourself time to get where you're going this morning. Outside of the patchy fog, we have clear skies. We are cool, 56 in Joplin right now with a calm breeze, and temperatures around the region still chilly. Fort Scott especially still, I'm taking a quick scan. Yeah, Fort Scott still the coldest community, 46. 51 in Pittsburgh, 50 Neodesha, Parsons, Chatopa, 51 Miami, and 54 in Neosho and Lamar. As we get our morning started, that patchy fog expected to stick with us through about 8, 9 a.m. It burns off and gives everybody mostly clear skies, and we're talking low 70s by late morning, but with plentiful sunshine means plentiful opportunities to warm back up. We'll go right around the mid 80s today with those mostly clear skies, and then into the evening, clouds will begin to increase and we'll start to go partly to mostly cloudy. We'll fall back into the mid 60s, and we could see a few early morning showers and thunderstorms in extreme western southeast Kansas. And then we'll see scattered thunderstorm chances with us Tuesday through Saturday. So Tuesday still warm though, mid 80s. And then with the increasing storm chances will come decreasing temperatures, at least slightly. So we fall back into the upper 70s and lower 80s heading into the upcoming weekend. That's a quick check of your forecast. Now here's Caitlin with a check of Consumer Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Well, cereal is losing its star status at the breakfast table. In the 1980s and 90s, cereal was front and center for so many families. But over the past decade, the food has been falling out of favor for more and more Americans. Next month, Kellogg will spin off its North American cereal division into a brand new company. Health habits have shifted away from sugar and carbs to more protein options in the morning. Cereal did have a brief resurgence during the pandemic, but since sales fell off nearly 9% in 2021. Industry tracker Circana says sales continued to fall last year, and analysts say to better fit an on-the-go lifestyle, consumers are turning to frozen breakfast sandwiches, burritos, along with bars and shakes. Chick-fil-A has returned to the United Kingdom after retreating following a gay rights backlash. The LGBTQ rights protesters forced the fast food chain to close a pop-up site in the UK in 2019. For years, the chain faced criticism for its past donations to organizations which have expressed opposition to gay rights, including same-sex marriage. In 2019, Chick-fil-A ended donations to anti-LGBTQ groups and said it would give only to organizations working on education, homelessness, and hunger. 4 years later, the company says it will open its first store in early 2025. Another 4 will open over the following 2 years, and all of them will be franchises. Drew Barrymore is apologizing to television and film writers after deciding to resume production on her show. Friday, Barrymore shared an emotional video explaining her decision to members of the Writers Guild of America who are in a bitter strike with studios. The apology comes after the Drew Barrymore show drew protests from the union after announcing last weekend it would resume production without WGA writers contributing. Barrymore said her name is on the show, but the decision was, quote, bigger than just me. She also called the situation complex and said it was never her intention to, quote, upset or hurt anyone. 2 beekeepers in Milwaukee say a cemetery is the ideal location to keep bees. Forest Home Cemetery has expansive grounds with a collection of trees more than a century old. In an odd way, the unusual location is bringing new life to pollinators. Sarah McGrew reports.
189 acres and trees more than 100 years old.
Their roots are deeper. It has a different flavor of honey.
For Charlie and Chad, Forest Home Cemetery is the perfect place to keep bees.
People are dying to get this honey.
The Silent City honey is sold at and benefits the not-for-profit cemetery. But the honey money was never the point.
The neat thing about honeybees in a situation like this is we can use it as a way to promote the good things that we're doing here.
That's where aesthetics coordinator, aka bee feeder Molly Barwick, comes in.
We are really trying to spread the word of eco-friendly. We're trying to be more eco-friendly ourselves.
They started by replacing annual flowers with perennials to attract even more pollinators, and change is already in the air.
And I've seen more monarchs this year than I have in my entire career here.
And it turns out you can learn a lot about living.
It's nature the way it's meant to be.
From insects with a lifespan measured in weeks.
The bees teach us about a symbiotic behavior, and life and death are kind of all part of the cycle.
According to the Center for Biological Diversity, 40% of bee species in the world are vulnerable to extinction, due in part because of human-driven climate change. So while the honey may be all the buzz,
and beekeeping is great, but I don't think it's the answer.
The better thing to do, they say, is plant native gardens like at the cemetery, or take part in No Mow May.
Enjoy life a little bit and then get around to cutting the lawn, and you'll be a far better savior of the bees than if you became a beekeeper, a honey beekeeper.
I mean, you say savior of the bees, but it's sort of savior of all of us, right?
Right.
Yeah. Because what do the
no
bees do?
No food.
No bees, no life.
So maybe it's more accurate to say the Forest Home bees are making honey to live for.
We'll be right back with more after this, but first, let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. An animal prosthetic doctor in Colorado is taking up a new challenge by giving a rescue baby goat the chance to walk again.
Evan Krugel has more.
You've got some legs, mister.
Inside his Westminster clinic,
there we go.
Dr. Martin Kaufman is no stranger to fitting pets for prosthetics. The walls of his office filled with success stories featuring dogs of every breed. But today's patient is not your typical pet. Instead, a 6-month-old goat who's had a rough start to life.
This is Stanley. He is our rescue goat.
Stanley was born without his back legs before being saved by the Old Town Homestead Rescue Farm in Fort Lupton.
So we thought this is a really tough rescue. He's never going to walk his entire life.
But Stanley is doing more than just walking, thriving on his latest set of prosthetics as he gets measured for his latest pair by Dr. Kaufman.
He's been in his first set of prosthetics for 3 months now, and it's night and day difference. In his previous situation, he's not able to walk on solid ground because it skins his legs. In his prosthetics, he can do anything from walking and running to jumping.
One of the best parts about anticipating how our animal patients will do after we fit them with a prosthetic is wondering how long it takes them to understand what's going on. And that eureka moment when you see them realize, oh, I can just be normal again. That's awesome. And off they go. It just melts your heart.
That's impressive.
Very cute.
Very cute indeed. I'm sure that goat is absolutely enjoying it. Well, something else that folks around the 4 states are going to enjoy is some rain. But first, we have some patchy fog across the area. Again, denser fog along 69 in northeastern Oklahoma from Miami to Grove, and then along 54 from Fort Scott, Nevada to Stockton. But as you can see, again, these numbers should be 10 if the skies are completely clear. So be aware of some patchy, dense fog across the area. That patchy fog is going to stick with us through about 8, 9 o'clock. And then once it burns off, we are looking at mostly clear skies into the low 70s by late morning, and then we've got the rain chances. Now for today, we're going to have mostly clear skies. That allows us to warm up a bit as we go into the mid 80s. Then as we head into the evening and overnight, clouds will increase. We'll see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms early tomorrow morning in southeast Kansas before we see additional development of a few scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. And we'll get a little bit of a lull in activity, and we'll see redevelopment begin to take place later Tuesday evening across the area and into the overnight hours on Wednesday. And then we will hold on to scattered shower and thunderstorm chances through Wednesday and into our Thursday as well across the area. So some much needed rain chances out there. Not everyone everywhere all at once, but nonetheless, at least some rain expected. So as we go tonight, again, this covers through about 3-4 a.m. So this is for those thunderstorms early tomorrow morning. But then we do have a low to elevated risk for some strong, possibly low-grade severe thunderstorms on our Tuesday. And as we head into Wednesday, again, a low risk, a bit broader low risk for the possibility of some strong, possibly low-grade severe thunderstorms out there with maybe some small hail and gusty winds. So nothing widespread expected at this point, but a couple of strong storms possible. And of course, we'll keep an eye on that for you. We're going to have another look at your forecast, including the 7-day and the news you need to know right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A Quapaw, Oklahoma man is dead after a crash near Baxter Springs between a semi and a pickup. It happened around 6 p.m. Friday on Highway 166 west of Baxter Springs. Authorities say both vehicles were traveling east with the pickup in the front. They then say that the pickup slowed down to turn left when the semi went into the left lane and hit the pickup. The driver of the pickup was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, and a passenger in the pickup, 58-year-old Jeffrey Sappington, was killed. The driver of the semi was not hurt. The city of Weir celebrated their homecoming. Part of the homecoming celebration was to remember the town's history. Presenter and host David Wallace invited community members to share their stories, memorabilia, and acknowledgement of the history of Weir. And Saturday, Joplin hosted its annual surplus auction at the Joplin Public Works Center. Guests could come browse and bid on items like power tools, bikes, furniture, vehicles, and more. The viewing for the items took place on Friday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., but today approximately 200 people attended the auction to purchase their desired items.
And we've got ourselves a pretty decent day out there. We are looking at mostly clear skies, warming up into the mid-80s by this afternoon. We'll have increasing cloud cover as we head into the evening hours as well. And then we'll go mostly cloudy overnight, mid-60s. Some early morning thunderstorms possible in southeast Kansas. And then we'll have more scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head through the week into Saturday even. So some much-needed rain chances. Another warm one tomorrow. And then these rain chances and cloud cover keep our temperatures a little more manageable into the upper 70s and lower 80s as we head through this work week.
The Italian city of Venice is not on the UNESCO dangerous list.
The World Heritage Committee had warned earlier this summer that Italy was not doing enough to protect Venice. The threats to the romantic city are listed as over-tourism, development, and climate change. Despite those risks, Venice was not added to the endangered list this week.
The Italian Culture Ministry welcomed the decision, as did the mayor of Venice. As part of its program to control tourism, Venice is adopting an entrance fee of about $5 a day for daily sightseers.
Certainly interesting. So I guess if you're heading to Venice, maybe just be careful out there. You never know.
Yep, that's it.
That's true. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great rest of your day.